Everyone, it is time for a new video, and today is going to be another writing vlog. So if you haven't seen one of my recent videos, I decided to participate in NaNoWriMo, and I'm documenting it and vlogging it along the way. So I'm going to link the first vlog down below if you want to check that out. I don't want to make this intro and first update too long, but I think that what I'm going to start with is a tiny wrap up of the last vlog and just talking about something that I mentioned there but didn't talk about a lot. So at the beginning of the last vlog, I was telling you about how I kind of decided what book I wanted to write, and I was hoping that would work out, and then guess what? It didn't work out. So I ended up switching to another book on day 4, but I feel really good about that decision, and I really think there's a high chance I'm not gonna have to change it again. And I did have 3,000 words, which really isn't a lot out of 50,000. The reason why that happened is because basically I was thinking about which book I wanted for NaNoWriMo really a lot, and just in general I was struggling for months to pick which book to stick with because there was just a lot of things that didn't work for a lot of the books, and I just was super confused, and the books that my heart wanted felt like they were just really stupid to focus on and just didn't make sense. And so I tried to follow my heart and my brain, and the fantasy romance that I started NaNoWriMo with, it just felt like it was one of the easier fantasy romances. It would be fun and lighthearted, but it is also one of the newer ones that I haven't really developed that much. It's not one where I know the characters that well, and so as I was writing the beginning, I felt like I wasn't connecting with it that much. I was just kind of confused and didn't have an outline almost at all, and when I wrote one a little bit, it just didn't feel right, you know? And so I was just like, I can't do this. I knew I would be super stuck. And another sign was that I was feeling super stuck on the first few days already. And the beginning is when it's really easy to gain momentum and get super hyped and excited and write a lot of words, and I was not feeling that. And so I was like, okay. And so the book that I switched to is an adult contemporary romance, which again, originally I was gonna write one anyways because it is way easier for me to write, and so it is one that I've been thinking about constantly, that I started this summer, and it's literally a 4th book in a series. So you can already tell, that was just why would that ever be a good decision? And I started the first book in that series, and I actually wrote a little bit of that last year on NaNoWriMo, but I just haven't, that book hasn't felt right either, and it's also one that I think it would have been good for NaNoWriMo, the first book in the series, but the issue there is that I now have quite a bit of that written, and I would have to edit and rewrite, which is the worst thing you can do on NaNoWriMo for me. And so this is just a book that my heart was really drawn to, and I was just I've been thinking a lot about how I need to follow my heart more than my brain, because I've always been a follower of my heart, and that's how I've been able to make decisions easily. And I think I've just been thinking too much, because as I started, as I self-published my first book, I was the smartest thing is to write the sequel to that first, or another book that I want to put out really soon, because this is not going to be out next year. I'm kind of planning it for the year afterwards. And so it was what am I doing? But I think what's important with that is just that I think it's super important to have as much fun as possible with writing. And I know that for other people it might just work better that you need discipline and order, and that's how you work, and that's cool too. But I think for a lot of us, the people who are driven mainly by passion and joy and excitement, like me, it's just super important to make it as fun as possible. And that means if the book that I should write next just doesn't feel right and it's not as exciting as another book, why wouldn't I write that other book? And I think another thing that I'm really liking with this, as I'm writing it, I now have 8,000 words in the document. It's really helping me forget about people reading the book, in the sense that I'm not holding myself back. I'm really learning how to just write for myself without putting pressure on it, because we've heard it before, the first draft It doesn't have to be perfect. It's not the end goal. There's a high chance it's going to be super different once you edit it multiple times. And so it's going to be super different in the end. And so that just really made me realize that, like, I can write literally anything in this book and it doesn't matter. If there's a point where, like, I don't know how to write a scene, I can either write it in a not so good way or I can skip it and add it later. And of course, it's not really like responsible and you're making it harder for your future self. But at the same time, I'm like, if I'm gonna be writing other books after this and then going back to edit this book and everything, I'm gonna be a better writer by then, because I'm gonna have way more experience and practice, and so then I'll be able to see all the little mistakes and things that need improvement and everything, which means that the most important thing right now is just to get the story on page and have fun with it and enjoy hanging out with the characters. That is all that I want, and so it's really helping me not hold myself back, because I also just could tell before, after publishing my book, that I was just thinking so much about people reading it. It was making me panic. I was either like, oh my gosh, I can't like let anyone read this, or just like different little things that like I thought about the imaginary people instead of myself. And I think that especially when writing the first draft, it's super important to write for ourselves. And like that is one thing that is super important to me, that like I write the books that I want to see on shelves, that I want to read, just my dream books, and everything I love as a reader, I want to write as a writer. And I think that is the only way for me to be happy as an author, no matter what like reviewers say and everything. Because like if I write a book that I love, there are going to be the right readers who are going to love it as much as I do. I have been kind of feeling really stuck and exhausted the past 2 days. I also like am trying in general to relax on weekends, because I just feel like I constantly work and never stop, and that is great but not ideal when I have to write. So I'm just kind of in that resting space, and I didn't write almost anything yesterday, so I kind of wanted to catch up today, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But I think my goal today is just to write something a little bit more than yesterday. I honestly don't care. Like, it's fine. So it is Monday now. Let's just say that while I'm still super excited, I'm still motivated and determined to, accomplish NaNoWriMo, achieve my goals, I have been kind of struggling. I think I mentioned it already that I had a few days when I basically barely wrote anything. It put me super behind on the schedule, and that is something that is it's really teaching me how important a schedule is. And I find it absolutely fascinating that like if you really stick to like a decent chunk of words, that's not like super a lot, but it's not little either, you can get to that giant word count. But I do think that a lot of people are like me, and it's really hard to do that. And a part of me is like, it's fine. Like, I can have just like some days that are just like super hardcore writing, and just like, instead of writing a little under 2,000 words multiple days in a row, why not write 10,000 words in 2 days? So that's kind of what I typically would go for, but I just feel like there has been this weird block in my brain. I don't know if it's like my actual brain, like a physical thing, or if it's just some kind of mental block, or if it's both, that I just, for a long time, I haven't been able to really immerse myself in the writing and get in the zone and gain momentum and write a fuck ton. Because again, that's just how I roll. Like, I usually, like, the way that I wrote books before was just in really big chunks, like a few times. Sometimes, like I was never like a regular routine type person, and I just haven't been able to do that. And I think that this is going to be good for me, that it's going to push me to try more often. But I'm really hoping that I'm somehow going to find that zone. I think like what I keep doing to like motivate myself is marking the word count like constantly. Like I write a page and I'm like, I can put it into the website now. And while that's fun, like it's cool in some ways, I think that it's maybe doing more harm than good, and I just need to forget any of that and just like focus on the story. Oh my god. Okay. I am sorry, I'm still in the same spot. I don't like filming updates like in the same spot in a row, but I managed to get to 10,000 words and I am still slightly behind, but I got in the flow. I got in the flow and I am only 3,000 words away from being on track. That's not little, but if I manage to write the same amount I did today tomorrow, or add a tiny bit of extra like the day after as well, I'm gonna get back on track. And I'm so excited. I am loving the story. I'm so in love with the two main characters. Like, they're the reason I'm writing this book. I love them so much. They're absolutely one of my favorite couples. Like, I love all of my couples, but they have something so special. And I can't wait for you all to meet them eventually. And I'm just having the best time today. And I'm so happy because I was really struggling the past 2 days. I entered the zone of just being exhausted and unmotivated again, and now just absolutely beyond excited to hang out with them and write more. And I literally, like, I was listening to music and I had to like leave for a second, and along the way I thought of like a line that I wanted to write like right away that was in the scene that I was doing, that I was working on, and I literally was so giddy from excitement that I nearly ran back to my armchair so that I could write it. And like that is a feeling that I missed so much. And I just love romance with my entire heart and soul, and just like watching and like making the main characters fall in love throughout like all these little steps, and like everything is the best thing ever. I am just feeling really good now. I just really need to embrace all the ups and downs, because like the lows have been really painful, but the highs are really worth everything. So it's finally time for a new update. I kind of haven't filmed an update for a few days. It has been an interesting week. I also have new hair now and it looks like a mess right now. This week was not great. It honestly went worse than last week, so we're not doing great. It is Saturday now, the 13th, and I am very much behind. There's a lot that's been happening. I wasn't feeling the best emotionally / mentally, and then today I wasn't feeling the best physically. And like nothing serious, but just I kind of had a headache, and it was the kind of thing that like I couldn't really look at the screen, and it just felt really bad, and I just felt kind of sick because of that. And so I obviously didn't want to force myself into writing, and it just felt super wrong and super bad, and I just knew that it would not be a fun time. And so what I have managed is to write something every single day. The only thing is there have been multiple days when that was literally one sentence. I am at like, maybe I got to 13,000 words, but like since it is gonna be the middle of the month in 2 days, I should be super close to 25K words right now. So that is most certainly not happening, but I'm not giving up. It was going really great. Like after the last update, I really managed to immerse myself in the story, but then like the way I was just feeling went downhill. I still think that if the second half of the month I just go super hard, really immerse myself in the story, I think I could still do it. And another thing that I'm hoping is gonna happen is, I don't know if I mentioned it in this vlog or my last vlog, But for my family, I got a typewriter, electronic keyboard type thing. I'm gonna show it to you obviously when I get it. And so they ordered it in literally August, and there were just some issues with like the parts to the whatever. There were just a lot of issues, and they finally shipped it. My mom got a text that it should arrive next Friday on the 19th. And so I'm hoping that that's actually gonna happen, that there aren't gonna be any issues, and that I'm gonna be able to write on it. Cause like, I don't know if it sounds stupid or if you get it, but the thought of writing on the keyboard is a life changer, you know, like like anything that's new and super exciting just like motivates my brain so hard. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're telling me I can write on this super cool keyboard that has like that satisfying typewriter sound, and it has super cool lights on it, like the best thing ever. We'll see how it goes. I'm not giving up, but at the same time, like, I am not mad at myself. I can do this. I just need to believe in myself. And I've been struggling with that a lot for a long time, but I can write fast. I can channel the inner magic and write some fucking words. It is time for an update. It has been a while since my last one, so I talked to you last Saturday, and it is now Friday, so I have just been going through it, and the past few days I actually have been feeling better and writing more and stuff like that, but I've also been just kind of busy, and I wanted to like take a little break from filming. While I'm definitely totally behind, I have still made quite a lot of progress, and I'm still really proud of myself. So basically, I currently on November 19th, I have 19,597 words, and I just realized that that means, like, on average, if you know, like, spread it out, it means 1,000 words every day. So I haven't written 1,000 words every day, but if you like count it like that, you know, then it means like that it's basically like 1,000 words every day. I just either manage to write really a lot, or I can't write anything. There were days when it was almost nothing. I did write something every single day, and that is another thing that I'm really proud of. But then when I could write and I pushed myself to write, 3 times I managed to write over 3,000 words, and then twice it was around 1,700, and then once it was 2,000, and so the rest then were like the such super tiny numbers, and then like 500, 800, you know, that kind of thing. And so like it is definitely interesting, and it is absolutely, like, it literally, the graph looks like a totally wild roller coaster. And so I'm just like trying to honestly embrace the different states, and just, you know, like, if I can't write, it's fine. I just need rest in that case, you know, it's just not a writing day, and that's fine. But I just really want writing back in my life. And it has honestly, like, even though I've been struggling in a lot of moments, it has been the best thing ever to have writing back in my life, and it makes me so happy. And I said in my last vlog, I mentioned that I wanted to set other goals for NaNoWriMo that wasn't just to write 50,000 words. And my goals were to fall in love with writing again, and just like write regularly again, and make sure that like it stays that way past November. And I obviously can't know if it's gonna stay that way, but I have been writing regularly. I have been loving it so much, and like the story is wonderful, and I'm so in love with it, and it just feels absolutely wonderful, and I'm so happy about that. And I haven't given up on the 50,000 words. I really want to try to push myself to see, like, to test my limits and see if I could still do it even though I'm behind. And I do want to try some challenges in the next 2 weeks, like some writing challenges to have fun with it and to motivate myself further. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I'm just gonna say it one more time. NaNoWriMo gives us a different scale and a different standard, and obviously every single one of us has different standards, and like you might have the NaNoWriMo standard all the time, but I think that like the community aspect can be really powerful, but also the whole like big goal can also feel really overwhelming. And if you see yourself, like if you see other people writing a shit ton, it's hard not to feel a little bit self-conscious about that. Or if you just, you know, like if you're behind on the goal, it's hard to feel like you're doing a good job. But just like honestly giving this whole thing a try is so admirable, and I think we need to remember that like we are still making a lot of progress, and we are still like we're doing the thing, and we are writing probably a lot, and like a lot more than we realize. It's just like not as wild as the NaNoWriMo goal might be, but it is still absolutely wonderful, and every single word gets us closer to the goal that we have, and so that is just super important to remember. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, but one more thing that I want to mention is that something very special did in fact arrive and I'm so happy. So I was originally kind of going to do an unboxing, but it ended up like surprisingly coming yesterday. It was supposed to come today, and I'm so fucking happy. I still can't believe it. I have been using it yesterday, today, like I'm in love with it, and I think I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in the next vlog. But it is wonderful. It is amazing. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. You can plug it into your laptop. You can connect it through Bluetooth to your phone, tablet, whatever. And so I didn't think that I would actually like use the phone that much, because I don't like writing on my phone. I only do that if it's, you know, if I'm desperate, if I'm outside, whatever. But I think it might be a game changer. The phone actually really helps me like focus on the moment, and like try to like it helps me forget the word count, and it also kind of eliminates distractions surprisingly. Like obviously if I have like a million notifications, I might like take the phone and like look at it, but I don't know, like turning on the keyboard and connecting the phone to it, I'm like, okay, this is happening, and I don't want to constantly like disconnect, you know, like turn off the Bluetooth on my phone so that it's not like draining the battery, or same with this, like I don't want to have to turn it on and turn it off, and I don't want to drain the battery if I'm not using it, if that makes any sense. So it's actually just absolutely wonderful. And the way it like you type on it is obviously it feels different from my laptop, but I'm already like getting used to it, and it's only been a day, so obviously like I think I'm definitely gonna get used to it quickly. And it also has like different light settings, which is super satisfying to me. I don't know if anyone relates but just any kind of light anywhere, I'm here for it. Like even my laptop has like a backlit keyboard, and that light is obviously way lighter less bright and everything. It's less noticeable, but even that, like especially when it's dark, it makes me want to write more. Yes, I'm gonna shut up about the keyboard now. I am gonna talk about it a little bit more in my next vlog, and probably honestly just like constantly, because it's certainly staying in my life and I'm so happy about it. So shout out to my parents and my sister for getting it to me as a graduation gift. I honestly couldn't have gotten any better gift, so I am super happy. So while things are not going as planned, or you know, like they're going, I'm moving forward. That's all that matters. So I'm gonna shut up now, and I'm hopefully gonna see you soon with another writing vlog, and I hope that your month is going well, no matter if you're participating or not, no matter if you're writing or not. I hope you're doing okay, and that's gonna be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave any kind of like, is there a keyboard emoji down below? If there is, leave that down below. Any kind of writing emoji works. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!